From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Lisa Laporte. Prime Minister Mark Carney says there will be a much more comprehensive and effective federal budget in the fall in order to, quote, do things right.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says his government plans to table a federal budget this fall. Taking questions from reporters at Canada's official residence of the Italian Republic, Carney said he didn't want to rush a budget, with Parliament supposed to rise less than a month after it begins. Carney has been criticized by the opposition for not presenting a budget before the summer. The Prime Minister also had a late-scheduled meeting with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance Sunday afternoon, the latest in a long line of bilateral meetings ahead of the G7 summit in Alberta in a few weeks. Nick Murray, The Canadian Press, Rome.
Pope Leo XIV delivered his homily today at his inaugural Mass in St. Peter's Square. ABC's Maggie Rulli reports Leo told the crowd of tens of thousands that he wants to be a servant to the faithful through the two dimensions of the papacy, love and unity, so the Catholic Church could be a force for peace in the world.
Today may be his official start, but Pope Leo has already taken a proactive role in global affairs, calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza and a just and lasting peace in Ukraine, with the Vatican offering to host peace talks between Ukraine and Russia.
Pope Leo is history's first American pontiff. Police in Toronto say a mother, her 4 children, and a male family acquaintance were inside a minivan involved in a deadly crash in the city overnight. They say 3 of the children were killed in the crash while 3 people were taken to hospital. The 19-year-old driver of a Dodge Caravan is facing a dozen charges, including impaired driving causing death. Economists say they expect to see April inflation go down thanks to the end of the consumer carbon price. Statistics Canada is set to release its consumer price index figures for April on Tuesday, roughly 2 weeks before the Bank of Canada's next interest rate decision is expected. Former U.S. President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. Here's reporter Stephen Portnoy.
First word of a possible issue came last week when Biden's office said a nodule was found in his prostate. Now his aides say the 82-year-old former president was diagnosed Friday with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. It has spread to the bone. Biden's office says the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which according to the statement would allow for effective management.
Biden's office says he and his family are reviewing treatment options with his physicians. Austria has welcomed Eurovision winner JJ back home with cheers, hugs, and roses. The 24-year-old classically trained singer arrived at Vienna Airport today after winning the 69th Eurovision Song Contest in Switzerland on Saturday. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Maple Leafs host the Panthers in Game 7 tonight in the winner-take-all finale of their second-round NHL playoff series. Toronto center John Tavares describes the feeling of a Game 7.
I remember my first one, it was really eye-opening. Just the intensity of play, the pace of play, level of detail, shift to shift.
Leafs coach Craig Berube confirms Matthew Knies will suit up for tonight's game against Florida. The 22-year-old was in visible discomfort during Friday's game and limited for the rest of it after taking a reverse hit from Florida's Nico Mikkola. The Detroit Tigers edged the Toronto Blue Jays 3-2 in Major League Baseball action today. Philadelphia Phillies closer Jose Alvarado has been suspended for 80 games after a positive test for external testosterone under Major League Baseball's drug testing program. And Carlos Alcaraz has beat Jannik Sinner to win his first Italian Open. From the Canadian Press, I'm Lisa Laporte.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.